What's up, guys? It's Looney TNT. Gonna give you guys an updated Warlock destruction guide. Now, what you want to do, I'll start off with the rotation because there's a couple things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the rotation for the maximum DPS that you can do. Also, I'm going to talk about your Chaos Bolt, and I'm going to make your Chaos Bolt do the maximum damage that you can possibly do because there are different ways to do this. Alright, so let's start off the rotation. The rotation is pretty simple for a Destruction Warlock. The first thing you want to do is you want to put Curse of Elements on the target. Second thing is you want to emulate. Emulate whenever it's about to drop, redo emulate. 2 conflags, and then incinerate. Alright, now, the conflag will give you 3 backdrafts per 1. I do 3 incinerates off that. I don't want to use it off for Chaos Bolt because it consumes all the backdrafts if possible. So try not to do that. So, pretty simple. You go Curse of Elements, keep it up. Emulate, keep it up. Conflag whenever it's up. Incinerate for any time that you're not doing any other spells. That's just your spam spell. Keep doing that. If you're not doing anything, you should be doing that. Now, let's talk about Chaos Bolt. Chaos Bolt is a great ability which costs 1 Burning Ember. You generate Burning Embers from your fire spells, pretty much. Now, what you do and when you use this is very, very important. And a lot of people, once they get a Burning Ember, they just spend it. Or once they get 4 Burning Embers, they do a Dark Soul and then spend it. That's not always the best idea. If you can maximize your DPS, this is the way to do it. Whenever I do a Chaos Bolt, there is always a proc happening. Whether it's my cloak or my trinkets or my weapon, there is a proc happening when I use my Chaos Bolt. Now, the general rule to Chaos Bolt is you get 4 Burning Embers, you pop Dark Soul, and use them. That is great advice. I highly recommend doing that. But when your Dark Soul isn't up, you should maintain your Chaos Bolts with a proc, if that makes sense. Let's say my Trinket procs. I'm using my Chaos Bolt then. I should never have 4 standing Burning Embers without a Dark Soul if it's on cooldown. I should not have that. What I should do is, once something procs, I should use it. Once I get about 3.5 Burning Embers, I should use it. Because I don't want wasted DPS. So that's how I maintain my my Chaos Bolt. Now let's talk about Trinkets here. This trinket right here that I'm looking at is very obtainable through Raid Finder, through Flex, through Regular. This is a trinket that should be used to combo with your Dark Soul. Now, let's say I start off a fight and I don't have 4 Burning Embers, but this procs because it will proc in the beginning of the fight. I will use this, or once this procs, I will use a Dark Soul for my Chaos Bolts. And the reason is because the hits are way higher than they would without. Okay? My next trinket, which is very obtainable, I got this one through Raid Finder. This one drops off, which boss is it? It's the, I think the 6th boss. I believe it's the 6th boss in Siege of Orgrimmar. This one's a random proc. It randomly procs, and it gives you 10,000 intelligence. This happens quite frequently. It actually does it pretty good. And this is actually one of the best times to use a Chaos Bolt when you don't have a Dark Soul usable within at least 30 seconds to start building your Burning Embers. It's great. Now, that's a lot of information that I gave out. And for a beginning player, let me recap. This is what you want to do for a beginning player. You don't have any trinkets. You're not trying to worry about that. Your rotation should be Curse of Elements, Emulate, 1 or 2 conflags. That's what I call them, conflags. Incinerate. Once you have 4 Burning Embers, Dark Soul, 4 Chaos Bolts. Rinse and repeat, okay? Now, if you have those trinkets, that's when you start mixing them. And let me go ahead and show you a rotation while I use it, okay? Now, I do it a little bit different. I don't do too much PvP on this guy, so I don't have a lot of macros set up into my Naga. So what I do is I actually use my Dark Soul as a click. So I'm not a clicker, but I will use that when I do click. Okay, you guys ready? So let's go ahead and reset this. You'll notice that my trinket will proc up here, and that is when I start to use my my abilities. Okay, let's go into the rotation. Alright, so see there it is, and watch the Chaos Bolt hit. It's a very big hit. It's a 1,000,000 hit. And then I'll have, this one won't be a 1,000,000 hit, but it's still pretty big. And then I'll just rinse and repeat, keeping my emulate up, and so on. And you notice my Dark Soul is about to go, so I'm not even going to waste my time with my Chaos Bolt. Okay? That is what I normally do with trinkets. So it's a little bit, the rotations flip-flopped a little bit. Maybe I can't get to an emulate to refresh that because I have a Chaos Bolt going. That's what I want to do with the with them, you know. And on a dummy, you're going to do less DPS, and my pet's hitting it, so my DPS meter is going down, whatever. I don't even care about the DPS meter right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the regular rotation for a, I'm not worried about trinkets, I'm just worried about the Burning Embers going into my Dark Soul. Okay, so I already have my Curse of Elements up, so I'm not going to be applying it. Emulate, I'm going to do 2 Conflags, and I'm going to do an Incinerate Spam. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down a Rain of Fire because I want to get my Burning Embers a little bit faster so I can show you the Chaos Bolts with the 4. Alright, so it's almost there. Okay. Dark Soul. Here comes my Chaos Bolts. Now, they're still reasonably high. You know, that's still a pretty decent hit. But as you guys can see, my trinket proc there, that's why I'm hitting the 700s. And then you just rinse and repeat and keep going. Alright guys, so hopefully that that rotation kind of helped you guys out. My last rotation that I did, I was like, you do 1, 2, 3, 4. But this time I wanted to use the abilities. Now, a lot of questions are about the AoE. When do I AoE? What do I do for AoE? It's very simple for AoE. Don't overthink it. If I have 3 or more guys come out, what I do is I do my Fire and Brimstone, and I emulate it. And then I turn off my Fire and Brimstone. Because 3, if I have 3 or 4, I'm not worried about it. If I have more than 4, Fire and Brimstone stays on, and I do my rotation without my Chaos Bolt. Obviously, I drop Rain of Fire, and that's pretty much it. You don't have to worry about it. If there's 2 or 3, if there's 3, like I said, I do my Fire and Brimstone and my emulate, but I turn it off immediately, and then I use my Havoc with my Chaos Bolts. If I'm running low on Burning Embers, I will use my Havoc for my Incinerate or my Conflag. Alright guys, I'm not going to go into glyphs and things because in this video there was a lot of stuff that I was going over, and I hope I didn't confuse you too much. If you do have a question, please leave it in a comment. If you have a question on anything else, you can ask. Just remember, if you're starting a Warlock, you're probably not going to hit 1,000,000 Chaos Bolt right off the bat, but it is doable. It's just all about prioritizing your Chaos Bolt. So, learn your Warlock and figure out when stuff's proccing, when you can sit there and do your cooldowns, and add it into your Chaos Bolt to do your most maximum hits on your Chaos Bolt. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys subscribe. I'll do some more in-depth videos later on. I do a lot of other videos. I do funny videos. I kind of mess around. So if you guys want to see that, check out my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.